All right, everybody, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm Savannah Louie here for Atlanta News First at our First Alert desk with your 5 stories that you need to know before you head off for tonight. Tonight's date is May 18th here. It's 8 o'clock on the dot, and we're just going to get straight into it with some developing news right now. This is out of Forsyth County, and this is a story we've been following since 2019. You might remember it, and I am going to show you some video here. I want to give you a warning before I play this video. It is disturbing. This is regarding the Baby India case in which authorities found a baby, a child, in a plastic bag. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and show you body camera video of when they made that discovery. All right, so you can see here, this is Baby India. Back in June 2019, Forsyth County deputies found a newborn abandoned in a plastic bag. Tomorrow, they will announce an arrest in the Baby India case. This is a huge deal. Now, this happened along a wooded strip of land near Dave's Creek Road in Cumming. The bag with that baby, Baby India inside, had been dumped on top of a pile of leaves and sticks. Extremely heartbreaking and disturbing story here. Now, Forsyth County announced the sheriff's office had made an arrest today after, quote, tirelessly working this case since June 2019. The person arrested has not yet been identified, but we know that news conference will be at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And you can stream that news conference if you'd like on Atlanta News First, on our YouTube page, or Atlanta News First Plus apps on Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. So if you're watching me right now, you will be able to watch this press conference the same exact way. Again, this is tomorrow, and it'll feature members of the FBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and members of the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. I know, that was a really hard story to start with here. I want to move on to another concern that so many families have in not just Metro Atlanta, but across the country. We're talking about active shooters. Huge concern for all of us. And now here in Atlanta, we are seeing Atlanta Police Department taking steps to prepare for the next time that an active shooter, God forbid, should happen. A situation should happen here. So I want to go ahead and show you video of earlier today. This is over at Oakland Cemetery, and you can see Atlanta police officers, firefighters, and paramedics going through a few different scenarios here. The training included arresting a suspect, looking for other possible shooters, and then also caring for some of those gunshot victims. And it's part of regular training that the departments go through. It's especially critical for officers who are on the street patrolling. We know that they are going to be the first people who show up because of specialized teams like SWAT. It takes them usually a little bit longer to get there. Now, training in a place like this, Oakland Cemetery, it might be a little surprising to you, but it actually forces officers to adapt and work together, similar to what they had to do just 2 weeks ago in Midtown when we had an active shooter right in the heart of Atlanta. I want to move on to a different story here in Atlanta, Fulton County. We're going to take you to Brookhaven now, where a accused arsonist was arrested today after allegedly starting a fire in Target. Imagine you're getting your groceries, you're picking up maybe medicine, clothes. Target has everything. And this happens. That accused arsonist was arrested after a fire was set inside this Target store. Atlanta News First, by the way, was the only crew on that scene as Brookhaven police arrested the suspect and placed them in back of the patrol car. Police received a call about a live fire inside that Target on Druid Hills just after 2 p.m. And investigators tell us the person in custody went into a dressing room, and that's when they started setting items on fire. Employees were thankfully able to put it out using fire extinguishers, and police arrived within minutes to arrest that suspect who is yet to be identified. Now, if you're thinking this story sounds a little familiar, well, that's because we've seen a number of fires at Targets and Walmarts throughout the metro this year. No word yet on why this person started the fire. Right now, they don't believe this incident today was connected to some of the others we've seen in Metro Atlanta over the past year, but we are hoping to learn more information as authorities release more information to us. We'll be sure to pass it along straight to you. I thought this next story is so interesting. For the past several weeks, months, we have been covering Mableton, the new city of Mableton, which voted to create a new city for itself. Just earlier this year, the city went through elections, electing a mayor, city council members, but now their question of cityhood is all up for debate. They might not end up being a city. It might be dissolved if some people have it their way. 5 plaintiffs have filed a lawsuit against the city of Mableton. They say that the city was created unconstitutionally. Now, the lawsuit that was filed alleges that the bill that created the city of Mableton and the referendum that voters passed were unconstitutional. Mableton's ballot question and the city charter created not just the city, but also its community improvement district. State law categorizes those as separate governmental bodies, and according to plaintiffs, well, they claim that putting both in one bill violated the single subject rule of the Georgia Constitution. So a little bit of a tricky legality there, but really interesting to hear that argument. We spoke to Mableton's first ever mayor, Michael Owens, and he tells Atlanta News First the lawsuit is disappointing. No word yet on when we're going to learn more about whether the city could be dissolved, but I just thought this was too interesting not to share. And we have covered Mableton and its new cityhood and its new leaders extensively. So I knew I wanted to share that with you as part of tonight's story. It's very interesting. All right, final story for tonight. This is a story I worked on over the last week, and I'm always very passionate about health, so that's why I'm doing this story. There was a new study that came out that links depression with ultra-processed foods. Now, ultra-processed foods are things like potato chips and sodas and the things that you're probably eating that are so tasty, but you probably know in the back of your head they're not that good for you. They're still so good, you eat them anyway. Guilty. I think all of us are. All right, but here's what the study says. People with the highest ultra-processed food consumption report twice as high a chance for depressive symptoms. Now, I do want to point out here, it's not clear whether depression is a cause or effect of consumption, but I did speak to a nutritionist, and she told me that you can improve your mood with more vitamins, minerals, and fiber in your diet. So if you're going to eat the ultra-processed foods, which, hey, all of us are. Okay, 99% of us are. You want to make sure that you're getting your fair share of veggies and fruits and all of that healthy stuff. Now, by the way, ultra-processed food makes up nearly 60% of Americans' diets. That's a lot. And they're also particularly a major problem in food deserts. Here in Atlanta, we have quite a few food deserts. I looked it up, and most of our food deserts are in South, East, and West Atlanta. Pretty much everywhere, except there are some in North Atlanta, but most of them are in South, West, and East Atlanta. So it's hard to eat healthy. It's especially hard to eat healthy when you don't have the funds or capabilities or grocery stores by you to get that fresh produce. So what can you do here? Well, the nutritionist tells me take it one day at a time. Think small. Read the ingredients whenever you buy something and look for additives, preservatives, emulsifiers, things that make the item last longer on the shelf and a little more convenient. And she also tells me that you should try to avoid the sugar. If the sugar is in the first 5 ingredients of whatever you're eating, maybe think about it again. Give it a little extra thought there. All right, guys, on that note, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. It is always a pleasure to spend my night with you, my evening with you. This is the only way I want to spend my nights at 8 o'clock. All right, taking a live look out here now at Centennial Olympic Park. You can see a bunch of clouds in the background. And after we've been spoiled with some pretty warm weather over the past few weeks, I told someone earlier, I said, it is freezing outside. That might be a little dramatic.
It was.
We have meteorologist Patrick Pete in the building with us, and Patrick says I'm being dramatic.
Yes, very dramatic. But it's okay. You know, we like the antics around here. Happy Wednesday?
Thursday. We're almost
Thursday.
there. Oh my! Hopefully it's not Wednesday.
It's Thursday. Yeah, this week has just kind of been a lot. It's been. There we go. Adjust the height a little bit, just because. You know.
All right.
How are you all doing this evening? The weather today has been a bit gloomy. We haven't seen as much showers and storms as we saw yesterday, but we're still looking at a pretty active radar. And we don't normally show radar on this stream, but I want to do it real quick because you can see where those scattered showers are. They're not moving a whole lot. So these same areas that are getting rain, I'm talking to you out in Cleveland County, Randolph County, Troup County, Meriwether County. You're going to continue to see these showers as we head through the next few hours. And then there's some stratiform rain in extreme northeast Georgia, so in the Georgia mountains. Stratiform essentially meaning light, consistent, just kind of nuisance showers. So we're seeing some of that out there. Meanwhile, we are continuing to track temperatures that are going to be a little bit below average as we head through the next couple of days. I do need to switch something for you all. So if you give me just about 30 seconds, I can have this routed for you so that we can break down your forecast. And, it's the weekend, so we're all kind of looking forward to that. So let's switch one more thing. We're about 15 seconds away. And there we go. So let's get you through tomorrow. I need to back up one graphic. Yes. I want to talk about these temperatures. And what we're seeing is that temps are only going to get into the mid-70s tomorrow. And then we're going to bounce towards 80 as we head into the weekend. 82 is the magic number for this time of year, so below average. But there's a first alert for Saturday because another cold front is going to slide through the area. And I know that you're thinking, Patrick, you guys have been talking about a front for the last few days. Yes, we had a front slide through the area at the beginning of the week and stall to the south of us. And it's still there. That's what's keeping the clouds and those showers around. And it's going to shift out of the region tomorrow. That's going to allow for most of the moisture to leave. We're still going to be dealing with clouds. And then as we head into Saturday, another front is going to bring another round of showers and storms, prompting that first alert. And there's also a severe weather risk. So we'll dial into all that and break it down for you hour by hour so that you can plan ahead, of course. Tomorrow, not much to talk about in the way of the skies. 20% chance of showers. Anything that falls is going to be light. Not expecting thunderstorms. No severe weather risk. So a pretty quiet day. We are expecting showers to build into portions of Alabama, but that's just not going to really make it our way. It's going to dissipate. So a pretty dry forecast for us. Cloudy at the morning start, low 60s, which is going to be a little bit cooler than we've been the last few mornings. So it's going to feel quite nice out there. Roll down the windows, enjoy that nice breeze. As we head into the afternoon, if you were thinking about taking Spike or Snappy or whatever your dog's name is to the dog park, giving you the green light here. Just remember it's a little damp out there because we've had several days of rain and storms. So maybe just bring that towel, keep it by the door so you can pet their paws when they walk back in. Otherwise, not too bad. Pretty comfortable. Low 70s by 2. As we head into the evening hours, we'll get some breaks in the clouds before sunset, and that's going to allow for the numbers to spike up a little bit. So we do expect for most locations to get at least into the mid-70s for daytime highs. It's going to be a fantastic evening. Listen, there's a 25th anniversary hip-hop concert. I think I saw like Trick Daddy and a whole bunch of other people that are going to be here. So there's supposed to be like a big lineup of folks at State Farm Arena. It's from 8 to 11. So it's about 3 hours of music, 3 hours of fun. Green light. It's going to be nice out as far as the weather's concerned. As we head into Saturday, level 1 out of 5 risk for strong storms for a large swath of not only North Georgia, but stretching into Central Georgia. With damaging wind, heavy rain, lightning being our primary concern, but there could be some small hail embedded in these isolated storms that do tap into some of this energy that's going to be out there. Excuse me. So let's get you through your Friday, which is going to be pretty dry heading into the early hours on Saturday. The clouds are going to build in. We'll be in the low 60s for the start of the day. And then we're going to watch those showers and storms that you see in that northwest corner of your screen, because that's where that first alert comes into play. That's those showers and storms firing up along that cold front. That's going to slide in, looks like mid-afternoon. Let's get back to that. Mid-afternoon, so I do think roughly 3 to 5 o'clock we'll see that moving through metro Atlanta. That heaviest, strongest part will be the leading edge, and then everything on the backside will just be the nuisance showers that we'll be dealing with through the evening hours. I still expect temperatures to climb into the mid to upper 70s and hit 80 degrees here in Atlanta and some other locations, despite the clouds, despite the rain, because you can kind of see those winds will eventually shift on the backside, and that's going to bring in some slightly cooler air, but not by much. So the first alert ends as we head into the evening hours. We dry out, and that's going to set us up for a pretty dry Sunday. I do expect lots of clouds to linger into Sunday, but pretty sweet afternoon to be out and about. And then we're watching another system on Monday. Now, this system is looking pretty tricky because the guidance has been all over the place. There's an area of low pressure that's going to essentially be elongated from the Gulf states to the Atlantic Ocean on the other side of Florida, and it's just going to kick some instability around. And right now, the whole guidance is just determining how far north that elongated area of low pressure lifts. And right now, we do feel confident that some of our southernmost viewers could see some showers, but a lot of you are inside of Atlanta, inside of the perimeter, and right now the guidance isn't quite too certain on if it's going to make it here. That's still days away, but our whole job is to try to give you a look at what we see when we see it, so that you can know what we're talking about whenever we're talking about 30% chance of rain. So right now, that's the thinking on Monday. You'll want to tune with us tonight, 10, 11 o'clock. We're going to have some updates, some newest model runs. But then, of course, tomorrow we're going to have a better idea of what Monday looks like. So you'll definitely want to at least set your DVR so that you can at least find that out. Meanwhile, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday look pretty dry, and temperatures are actually going to be quite nice. I like the 70s. Give me some sun, give me some clouds, give me the 70s, and we got a good time. But a pretty perfect forecast from my perspective heading into the middle of the week. We're back to 80 degrees by Thursday. So it's a busy news night. So there are lots to do. I am actually going to be doing the 9 o'clock show for you all this evening, which is going to be a slight change up. Meteorologist Fred Campagna has been nice enough to let me leave early because I am taking a trip. But you can catch Fred tonight at 10 and then again tonight at 11 with updates on the forecast. And I will see you all next week.